Hello guys. So I am back and I'm going to make another ornament for my mother-in-law. Um, and I'm going to attempt a little gnome because she loves gnomes. She said she still believes in gnomes when she's walking through the woods every morning with the dogs. She still, as kids, her and her sister used to imagine there were gnomes all over. And seriously, if I go out into the woods 5 miles with the dogs, she'll stack rocks into like a pyramid, like a big rock, littler, and I find them all over the woods. It's crazy. So I'm going to try to make a gnome. So this was a quick little drawing I did. So the first thing I'm going to do is his face. Now, I'm not a sculptor. I'm just attempting. So we'll see how this works out. So the only flesh tone I had was in Cernit, this opaline, and it's a flesh tone. So that's what I'm going to use. And all I've done is kind of made a ball so far. That's about the size I think his head will be. Now, my problem is, do I make it round and then just add ears and stuff? Or do I make it look like a face? I don't really know because we're going to add a beard on top of it. So I'm not quite sure. But either way, I got to get it patted down to about the size I want. So I don't, like I said, do I make like a chin shape or do I just keep it more, I'm going to keep it a little more round, and then hopefully with the beard I can sculpt his face actually a little bit more, you know, because you're not going to be able to see the chin or the top of it because the hat's going to be there. And I think I'm going to put one of these on one of the wood ovals that I have. I'm going to put him on. So that would be too big though. Like, should I take a little bit off? I always get fluff for my bathrobes that I wear because it's cold in my basement. It's 54 today and it's snowing outside and it's blustery out. I always get the little lint from my bathrobes in it. But I can take some alcohol before I bake it to get the top layer off. Anywhere where the hat is gonna cover, I'm not too concerned. Or the beard, it's just kind of where his face is gonna actually be showing. My nails look black. They're really actually like purple. I just did them. Think that will work. And then I'm going to put some cute little ears on him, I think. How big do I want them? Too big. my ball tool. Need a bigger ball tool than that one. Too big. I have a huge ass ball tool and a little ball tool, but where is my medium ball tool? Haha. Yeah, that's too much clay. Try that amount. Oh, it's sticky clay. It's like really sticky the more I'm working with it. I need a different thing. Now I want his ears to kind of, because his hat's going to go around it, and so is his little beard. Kind of look like elf ears right now. And I could always sand them down if I think they're too big. Try that. Now to get them to somewhat match. It's the hardest part. Oh, sorry, my fiance's outside plowing. Boys! Sorry, guys. Hang on. Sorry. There's not much I can do until he leaves. Just like a painting, don't get focused on one part too much, because you can sit here and pick and prod at things for a long time, and people are going to look at the thing as a whole. Okay, and then I'm also going to stick on his nose right now, because that's, I'm trying to get the size down. Which I kind of want it tilted up. Jackson. Like that. And then I also want to put in his mouth right now, which I'll probably just use this. Maybe a round tool might work better. I don't know. Let's see. And then I'm going to take some alcohol. But I can, when he comes out of the oven, I can buff him up too. Because the hat's going to go right down up to the nose. So pretty much all of this is going to be hidden. I think his chin looks big, but if you think it'll cut, the beard will be there, so it'll give the beard some support. I think I'm okay with him. Let me get him in the oven just for a quick little bake. You know, just to get him firmed up so I don't keep putting fingerprints and stuff like that in it. You know, maybe 30 minutes or so. I'll go get some lunch and then I'll make some lunch. And I'll come back and I'll probably build his hat next, I think. Let me get him baked up. We'll see how cute he comes out, if he comes out cute at all. First time making a gnome. But I think I think that should be fine. Okay, let me get him baked. So while that's baking, I'm going to get the color ready for the hat. And I'm running out of red. All I have is the alizarin, and I have Primo pomegranate, like this much. So, but I don't think I want it pure red. I really don't. So I think I'm going to mix in this scrap kind of color that I got when I mixed these ones together. The scraps from this. I ended up with this kind of shade. So I think I'm going to mix that in just a little, maybe even half of it, just to deepen it a little bit. And that way it's not so bright, because I don't think I want it that bright. No, I don't. So I'm going to mix this up and get this ready. Hopefully this will be enough. And yeah, we'll go from there. Even if I have to sculpt the under part with a different color, like this scrap, and then lay a sheet over it, I might have to do that. So let me get this mixed up and see what color I end up with. Okay, so his head's out. That's what I got going on for his face. So I think I'm going to sculpt a smaller version of the hat in this and then wrap it in the red. So first thing is because I want it to go behind his ears. So I cut a little strip. I rolled this out on setting 3. And I cut a little strip just to kind of give me something to work off of. Like maybe something like that. I'm going to push it down on there. And then, because I want it to kind of wrap around but hold off from his head, you know? Where's my blade? That way I don't have to use all the pure red for making it. So I'm kind of tucking it so it lifts up here a little bit. Because I plan on dropping the regular red all the way almost down to his nose. So then this one I'm going to keep up just a little higher, and this will give me a form to work with. Oh, come on, my tile. Like that. I'm going to pinch this part a little thinner. Squishing out all the air. Pretty much I'm building myself a base out of this color. And then I'll bake it, and then I'll have a base that I can use to lay the red on and create folds if I want to, or whatever. And the base, because I'm going to use the regular red, doesn't need to be perfectly smooth. And then later, what I'll do is I'll lay a piece of this over it and behind it, and then I'll be able to really sculpt it, but I'll have like a nice base to work off of. I'll be able to lay a whole little piece right down to his nose. Then you'll be able to see the dark color underneath, which would be like a shadow right there. I'll lay a thin piece on the outside here. Okay, I'm going to bake that again. Just like that. And we'll see if doing that helps, or if, I mean, you probably could have just done it totally out of this color, but I don't have a lot of this color, so I'm trying to like build my form out of other colors, and then I can roll this out fairly thin and lay it over it. So I'm going to get him baked for another, 15, 20 minutes or so, just firm enough that, again, I'm not distorting it and I can push against it. And, yeah. Okay, so my little head is out and cooled, and now it's time to apply. So I just rolled out this sheet on a number 5, and I just kind of cut these 2 corners. We'll see if I even needed to do that, but I think I'm going to apply a little Bacon Bond to a few spots. Ooh, the fact that I haven't fully baked this has been seeming fine on my other little ornaments I've been doing. I think I'm going to take a little and I'm going to put it under here. Really doesn't need tons. Just little bits here and there. Okay, that should be fine. Now, what I was thinking on this front edge here is that I want to make it thinner. I was going to cut a straight edge, but I'm thinking actually I'm going to kind of bevel it down here to make it thinner, and I was going to wrap it under my lip that I already have. If I can. I don't know if I can. We'll see how that works. But I was going to try to take it and then kind of try to force it under this lip. But let me just lay it on here and see if then come up and around it. I'll probably take my blade off after and make a straight line after, but for now, I'm just trying to see the best way of going about this. And I'm not really concerned about the back side because that's going to be glued down to something flat. So that part I'm not really concerned about at this point. It's not my main focus. What do you think? How is he looking? I really need to get a new blade on my craft knife too. I have new blades, I've just been lazy and haven't changed it over. I do want a little of that dark showing because it looks more like a shadow in there, right? I think it does. Pretty happy with that side so far. You're not going to be looking up at him. You're going to be looking down at him or straight on. I need like a little brush to clean any alcohol, or with alcohol on his face. I got some red on him. I believe I put these little brushes on my Amazon page because they're really handy for this kind of stuff. They're like little foam. Got a little red on him. See, I like building things in stages. A lot of people like to bake it all at once. I would rather bake little parts. I just prefer to do that. Make a part, bake it. Make a part, bake it. Because right now I'm not worrying about squishing his face or his beard if I had done it together or anything else. I'm just going to make in the hat. That's the only thing right now I have to worry about is the hat. Now I'm going to get a piece of wood after this is baked to set it on and see if I'm going to put in some body, because I'll probably do the body first before I put the beard on, because the beard's probably going to go over his shirt some, like that. Not looking too bad, right? I think he's cute. I'm just accentuating a few folds with some indents, because this would be cloth, right? I'm going to sit on my tile and I'm going to push down fairly firmly so I can make sure it's fairly flat for when I glue him onto whatever you're going to put him on. Oops, sorry. Okay. I think I'm going to bake him up again like another 30 minutes or so. Okay. I'm going to go get him baked and then I'll be back and we'll probably build a body next. So he's out of the oven. He's still pretty warm, but out and good to go. So now I'm going to build the body. And I think I'm going to do the same thing, use some scrap clay and then overlay with ultramarine blue. So as far as the body goes, now this head is still pretty warm, so I don't want to get it on my clay yet, but I just have a ball here. I'm just going to make his torso for now. Now I might put him on one of these wood pieces, but I might also just put him, make like a thin background for him to put on, so I don't quite know yet. When I was just looking at the wood pieces, I don't think, with the size of the head, I don't think it's going to fit very well. Even if I made just a small torso and only showed part of it. So I with just making a polymer clay background. Now I'm going to add on arms in a second here too, which is why I'm making the torso a little smaller on the top there. Just using an acrylic block to try to roll out an even sausage, because I'm not good at that. Again, this is not an actual like photorealistic, not that they're realistic anyways, but it's a caricature type, cartoonish type being. I'm not trying to get him to look human or anything. I think his beard's gonna come down, but trying to like sit the head into it because the head's, I made the chin really long so the beard would have to, so I'm going to put the beard like here and probably a little bit onto here. You just kind of have to imagine it in your head, which is hard to do. A little indent in here so when I put the blue on I can really set it in there if I want, or not. I think that will be the color I'll do. Sorry, my fiance just got home. It's been about 3 hours since the last time they barked, so I know for you guys it'll just seem like a couple minutes, but for me it's been like 3 hours since the last time he was home, so. And then I should be able to lay clay across here, then clay, and clay. Or one big sheet and tuck it down in. And then I'm going to put little hands out of the flesh tone coming out of the shirt, which is why I did the little indent with my ball tool in here. So I can kind of stick them up in. Now, I don't think I'm going to attach it to the head at this point, because it's just easier to work it when it's not attached. Let me set it on my tile though. So I get it exactly how I want to bake it. See, it's hard because when you guys watch this video, it might look like I'm doing this all at one point. So I'm baking. When I'm baking, it's Saturday. I just got my bedding all torn off, and I'm doing laundry and all kinds of things. Cleaning. Doing the normal weekend stuff when you work all week. All your household chores. Okay, so I think I'm going to get that baked off. And then we'll put the blue on. I think I might make a belt for him. I might not. Depends. I don't think I'm going to do legs on him, which is why I rounded this off. But if you were, I would build the legs either now or when this is baked. And that way, again, you can put... I don't know. Do gnomes kind of wear, like, long shirts, don't they? I don't think I've seen a gnome with pants. It's usually something like this and then with boots, right? Right? I don't think I usually see him with pants and then boots. But they totally could. I don't know. I'm not quite sure which way I usually see a gnome. Either with a shirt and then obviously like a boot. I guess I've never really thought about it. Sorry, my quick in the air drawing. And then with boots. Yeah, maybe like that. So if you were going to do pants, I would bake them too as well. But I don't think I am. Because I would want them to be under my tunic. So I would bake them off. Like at this point. Or when this is baked, make pants. And then lay the tunic on top of it. Because you don't want it. You want this shirt to look like it's over your pants, just like it normally would be over your pants. But I think this is where I'm going to end my guy. That's a big enough ornament, I think. So yeah, I'll get him in the oven and then I'll be back. I was just looking around for a backing and I glanced over and I have these like old scrap pieces here and I had this one. This one might be a cool backing for it. To me, just by glancing across the room at it, it looked like trees in the winter. It's pretty thin though, so I'm gonna have to line it on something else. And I have some creases in it from it being in the plastic for months. Some of this, there's a leaf right here, you see it? It's just a scrap piece that I swirled up that I thought came out pretty cool. And I think he'd actually look pretty cool on it. I don't know, it looks like a tree to me right here, like a frozen tree. If I can stretch this out a hair. Try to smooth it off a little bit. I think it might actually be a cool background for him. And I have some scrap here that I could lay it on. And that could be my background that I put them on. I might do that. Kind of like this side better. So let me get this piece rolled out to be long enough to fit behind that, and then I'll kind of mush them together. So I just have this scrap rolled out. I'm going to lay this on here. Best I can. Where is my... And I had this scrap to get it big enough, had to be on a setting 3. And this I rolled out thin. It's probably a setting 6. So let me put it back through on a 2. Not really to stretch it much, but mainly to make sure it's stuck together. I'm getting some cracks in there and everything. I think it looks cool. Because this hasn't been conditioned in a long time, that back one. So I think it looks cool, but I'll just smush out those cracks. Kind of warm it all up. Yeah, I think it'll be a cool background to stick it. You won't see the swirl, really. You know, but I almost see like frozen tree branches. Like that looks like a tree to me. That. I think I'll put them there. And then I'll cut them out. Put a little hole in. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. I did take my Dremel while that's baking, and I kind of buffed it up a little bit. His hat. I did no sanding, just buffing with my orange and white wheel. And so my shirt's almost done, so I will go get that out of the oven. I'll set this aside. I have my ultramarine blue for the shirt rolled out fairly thin right now. I think I have it on a 5 again, like I did with the shirt. So I'll be able to lay that over. Put this background on a tile. So that will be ready to go. Smooth it right down on my tile. So then when it's all done, I'll just lay them on there. I feel like some of this might have Pardo translucent in it. But I don't remember making one of these out of Pardo, so it's probably just regular translucent, regular Primo translucent. And then this is just scrap Primo. The background is all just scrap Primo. Okay, my backing's ready. But you can do whatever backing you do, a black backing, whatever backing you want. But I was like, well, I've had this veneer sitting here forever, might as well use it. And it kind of looked, like I said, it kind of looked wintry to me. So yeah, I'm going to use that. So let me go grab the shirt and see if it's done, or his torso, I should say. So my shirt's out of the oven, and what I'm now going to do is wrap it. I did apply just a very thin layer of liquid clay. And I have my ultramarine rolled out on a setting 5, so it's nice and thin. And I'm going to attempt to lay it on here. Where's my round one? Oh. Now I'm wondering, do I leave it like this, kind of loose on the bottom? Or do I fold it flat? Not quite sure yet. Because like I said, I don't think I'm going to put legs on him. But if I were, I would want the legs under the shirt, you know? Let me cut this part off flat. I think everybody's going to come downstairs, so sorry. And see, this one's wrapping behind, which is what I want it to do. This one is not so much, so. I'm sorry. I know everybody's coming down, so I'm attempting to wrap it up in to the hole where the hand's gonna go, like that. What did you just grab off the floor? Oh, a little tiny piece of bone. I thought my dog grabbed something of mine. I thought something of mine fell on the floor. It's just a piece of bone. So like that. Do the same thing with these ones, kind of wrap it under a little bit. Kind of push it down in. I almost think I should just fold that over. It's hard because as I'm pushing there, I have to hold it tightly and it's making marks other places. Or finger impressions. But if I would have built this in one part, I would have been leaving big indents, and now I'm not. Because I have a solid base, and now I'm just like putting the clothing over a solid base. There may be an air bubble under here a little bit. Yes, I think there is. I can kind of see it right there. So I'm going to take a needle and I'm going to push into that air bubble and pop it out. Later I can buff this up again with my Dremel and make it nice and smooth. Or I could sand it if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to sand them. I don't think it needs to be that smooth. So I think I'm going to put some bacon bone on the bottom of his head and glue them together. And then, if my hands aren't too dirty, I'll take some of that cernet that we had from earlier. Make two little hands. I have a little liquid clay that I'll just tap on there. There's enough plain clay. Like that. Just keep it basic. Oh, there's some blue there. I should probably put that in. But it will also stick to the raw clay that's around the edge. I think that hand looks funny, but it's pretty stuck. See, that's why I usually do things in baked steps, because if it gets stuck like that, you're kind of screwed. But when it's baked, I could have taken it out a bunch of times and retried it and taken it out and retried it. And I could have picked it up and set them in. I mean, that hand's showing more than that hand, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's not symmetrical, but it doesn't mean there's something wrong with it. Maybe he's sticking his hand out more. Who knows? Because he wants to. Maybe that hand's cold and he tucked it up in his sleeve. It looks really white when it's not baked, doesn't it? Look how much that color changes from baked to non-baked. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so I think the shirt is done. His hands are done. I'm thinking if I did a belt, I was going to do it a little bit later. And this is big, so I don't risk messing anything up. Not too bad for my first shirt ever. Cool. And then we just got to put a beard on him, pretty much. Yeah, I think I might put a belt on him. I might not. Anyways, let me get him in the oven. We'll bake that, and then definitely get the beard on, and then I can reevaluate and see what I think later.